In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we are situated on the traditional lands referred to as Treaty 4 territory. These are the territories of the Cree, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, and Lakota.
We respect and honor the treaties that were made on all territories. We dedicate our efforts to working together in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. We acknowledge all nations, indigenous and non-indigenous, who live, work, and play on this land.
We'll begin our prayer with the sign of the cross. Notawi nan, kikosis, kamiosit manitou. Notawi nan, kisi manitou. Wichihi nan mina, kitata mihinan. Oma pamatiswin. Kamiak.
Wichihinan, Ganaweminan, Anoch, Eguatato Kisikau, Nianan, Kitawasamisak, Esquewak Egua Esquisak, Napiwak Egua Napisak, Kakiao Ayusiniwak Ota, Egua Misuiskimik, Kinanaskimitin.
Today is Wednesday, March 4th. Campus supervision today is Maya Dupro. Student and staff birthdays are Cole McDonald, Matthew Nadeau, and Carter Rands. Levi will be holding practice at Yara on Saturday, March 7th for boys who are interested in playing some rugby this year. Bring a mouth guard, cleats, water bottle, and shorts. Scores from yesterday. Senior male basketball played Peacock, and Kurt Mendez led ND with 18 points. Games today. U15 Hounds versus Prairie Hockey Academy in Carenport at 7:15. Today's quote, "You are never too old to learn."
Good morning. My name is Logan Eisner, and I'm a grade 12 student and a 2-year hound from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It is my honor to be here today as we gather to celebrate International Women's Day, an important occasion to recognize leadership, strength, and achievements of the incredible women in our Notre Dame community. The She's a Hound initiative also supports the importance of sharing stories, amplifying voices, and fostering opportunities for current and future female hounds. Today we would like to welcome Marta Krueger, class of 2018, who currently works as a Development and Engagement Officer at the Ukrainian Museum of Canada in Saskatoon. She has many responsibilities, including planning fundraising activities, facilitating visitor services, and oversees gift store operations. She also instructs cultural craft workshops, leads guided tours of the museum exhibits, and assists with any exhibition, installation, and de-installation, research, and planning. Marta enjoys participating in a wide range of activities and loves learning new things every day. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Marta Krueger.
Thank you. Good morning, Hounds. Like she said, my name is Marta. I'm from the class of 2018, and I grew up here in Wilcox. And sometimes I joke that I'm more than just a 4-year hound. I'm an 18-year hound, kind of start to finish. When I was little, I'd see the big kids at red and white nights, reading at church, in drama productions, and going crazy at rodeo day. And I'd dream about the day that I would finally get to be a hound just like them. I also grew up dreaming about being an artist or a scuba diver dentist. I was really into Finding Nemo. But as I got older, the voices of the real world started to seep into my dreams. They would say that being an artist isn't stable. It's a hobby, not a career path. And my dreams started to squish down, becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. In grade 9, even though I knew hockey wasn't really my thing, I joined the women's AA team. I wanted to make friends and be involved in ND life, just like the older kids that I always looked up to. I was technically on the AA female team as a practice player. The most I ever dressed was when I had to wear a helmet while running the door on the bench. That was rough, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though the coaches were great and worked with me in practices, it was really frustrating. I couldn't connect with the sport in the same way other people did, and it kind of felt embarrassing. Over my 4 years at Notre Dame, I tried so many different sports. I was on the softball team, I tried badminton for a bit and basketball too. I ran cross country, I played on the ultimate frisbee team, and I was on the soccer team all 4 years. In my grade 12, I was actually the co-captain and had one of the highest goal point averages on the team, but I still can't kick a ball straight, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But my ND experience was also more than just the sports that I played on. In grade 9, I was the lead in our spring play. I also went on outdoor ed trips with Bolak and Lisa, including a canoe trip where it rained for 5 straight days. I had basically no upper body or rowing strength and was cold the whole time. But I didn't complain or cry once, which genuinely shocked Bolak. I also was a member of Hounds for Humanity and helped organize a bunch of different fundraisers. I was in the drama and improv clubs. In grade 12, I was a townie house leader. And I was also a Ukrainian dancer, which was something I had grown up learning and doing outside of the world of Notre Dame. Through all of my experiences, I really came to know and feel Pear's phrase, struggle and emerge. I sure struggled. I struggled through stick handling, studying for pre-calc 20 tests, rowing a canoe in the rain, standing on stage in green tights in front of the whole school. I tried so many different things, and I didn't know or think I would be good at any of them, and I didn't always feel like I was emerging. I graduated, but what else was I supposed to do? What else are you supposed to do in Wilcox? You try all the things, because otherwise you're bored out of your mind. I graduated from Notre Dame in 2018 and began my studies at the University of Saskatchewan the fall of the same year. I didn't really know what I wanted to study, if anything at all. None of the typical university degree-oriented career paths seemed to fit any of my interests or skills. So I took some general arts and sciences classes, I joined an improv club, I played on a rec ultimate frisbee team, and I got involved volunteering at a childcare center for newcomer Canadian families, and I joined the Ukrainian Students Club. But at the end of my first year, I still didn't feel like I was any closer to figuring out my degree situation. The only classes that I had enjoyed were my art history and Ukrainian language, but they didn't feel like they were pushing me down any sort of path. I really felt like I was failing, and all I could see was my lack of decision-making when it came to choosing a career path. When I was talking to my mom about it, she absolutely clocked me. She looked at me and she said, "Marta, why aren't you taking any art classes?" I realized I was scared. I was scared to admit it was really something I wanted to do. And I was scared about a lot of the typical attitudes towards a fine arts degree. But then I thought about my time at Notre Dame again, and I remembered how hard it felt when I was I remember how hard it was when I felt out of place on the ice or trying to shoot a basket in the gym. And I remembered all the other things that I got to try, even though I was scared. I remembered that when I eventually did the things, it wasn't as scary. And even if I struggled with them, it wasn't the end of the world, because ultimately, I was learning something new, and I was having fun. And I realized that was what I had been doing with all the clubs and community groups that I had joined in my first year of university. I was trying something new. So in my second year, I changed my major, and I decided to pursue a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree. It was terrifying, but I did it. I also took a job as an RA in the dorm that I was living in, which I knew I could do because I had the opportunity to be a house leader in grade 12. And I became more involved in the improv and Ukrainian student clubs on campus, taking on leadership roles and getting involved in planning events and encouraging other students to join. I had a part-time job as a waitress, which helped me meet new people and gain some really valuable customer service experience. It also helped me learn how to make connections with people in different worlds just by having simple conversations. And those conversations often led to really cool work and volunteer opportunities for me. I graduated from the University of Saskatchewan in 2023 with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts high honors degree. A very expensive piece of paper that to the most of the world says, Marta can paint good. But to me, that piece of paper also says, I can do this. I can find my way, and I can do it well. That summer, I took an internship at the Ukrainian Museum of Canada in Saskatoon. As collections assistant, that was the position. I spent the majority of that summer in a cold basement looking at really old things and writing reports about what condition they were in. It was not my vibe. But I knew something really cool was happening there, and so I wanted to be a part of it. So I took an internship again the next summer, and the next. Each internship was a new position with different expectations and responsibilities, and I got to learn something new. Between each contract, I continued working as a waitress and trying to stay busy. There were times where I felt like I was really struggling, that I'd set myself up on a difficult path just to torture myself, but I kept going. I was a lead shift supervisor at my restaurant job, an instructor at a kids camp, and I also reconnected with a childhood friend who helped me learn more about the process of applying for grants. This helped me take time away from work and focus on creating new paintings and exploring my artistic practice. Motivated by my art history classes and funded by my restaurant tips, I took a big leap and took a solo trip to Spain. I immersed myself in the art that I had been studying and written so many papers about, and I felt inspired. The trip showed me how much I could rely on myself, how I could chase my interests halfway all across the world, and return home to -35 weather and still feel excited to create new works of art. And I continued to take jobs at the Ukrainian Museum of Canada. I took those internships every summer, and I learned about the different areas of working at a museum. I learned about archives and artifact storage, about exhibition design, and all of the research it takes to put a display together. I learned about developing programs and grant applications and how to engage with people of different cultures, languages, and understandings. And I learned how to ask questions. Just because the roles were new and not something that I had done before didn't mean I couldn't do them. I just needed a couple extra details to get me there. I learned that I was strong and smart, and that my creative thinking, my artistic brain, was an asset that I could actually apply in so many different settings. Since my third summer internship at the museum, I was asked to stay on staff on a part-time contract, and that eventually turned into a full-time salaried position. My title is Development and Engagement Officer, which is basically a fancy way of saying Marta can and does do a lot of different things. I help with fundraising and grant applications, I interact with our visitors and give tours, and I get to go shopping on the company card, ordering cool stuff to sell in our gift store, but still, it's fun. I also get to work with a team of people that have such a wide range in job experiences and skill sets. My coworkers are artists, accountants, educators, researchers, and so many of them speak more than one language, it's a little bit intimidating. I find my job at the Ukrainian Museum so cool because we're changing what a museum looks like. So many people have this idea that a museum is a quiet and kind of boring place. Somewhere you go to learn, but you see something once and it never changes. So you don't really have to go back. But our museum has more than one story to tell. We have more than one thing to show you and more than one way to show it to you. And whether or not you're Ukrainian, our museum is a place for you to connect with others, but also to find a connection within yourself. So when Andrea asked me to come and speak today, and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I really looked back at my time at Notre Dame. And honestly, all I could feel was gratitude. I feel grateful that even though I wasn't the best hockey player, I still tried it. I feel grateful that because I felt embarrassed about my lack of hockey skills, it pushed me to get past my ego and made me less intimidated to try new sports or to get involved in other clubs on campus. I feel grateful for my drama and my improv clubs because they taught me how to think on my feet and be comfortable speaking in all kinds of situations. I feel grateful for my art classes that were my safe space to make mistakes and to go on and create something new, something challenging, and something better. I feel grateful for the teachers and the coaches who saw a kid that just wanted to fit in and pushed me to find my own way through. And I feel grateful for Pear's favorite phrase, struggle and emerge. In my brain, I always associated this phrase with sports and as a way of overcoming athletic hardships. It seems so obvious now, but I realize that struggling and emerging is not limited to athletics. It's applicable to all elements of life. Struggle is challenging yourself. It's recognizing that you're not good at something and being okay with that. Struggle is realizing that your worth as a person isn't connected to your productivity or to your success, but how you approach new things, challenges, job opportunities, life. The second part of Pear's phrase, Luctor et emergo, emerge. The emerging part isn't something that happens immediately or all at once, and it's also not a finite thing. It's something that coexists and it evolves with that struggle. Emerging is realizing that those struggles will never go away. They change with you as you meet different chapters in your life. My experiences at Notre Dame, in university, and halfway across the world and back all showed me that struggling and emerging is what pushes you to find and to feel confidence in who you are, in what you have to offer this world, and to do the thing anyway, especially if it scares you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Josie Ellis. I'm a grade 12 student and 3-year hound from Rockland, Saskatchewan. And my question for you is, what inspired you to pursue your career?
So honestly, my mom is what inspired me to pursue my career. Most of you know her, Elena, and our connection to our Ukrainian culture is so much through her. And she really encouraged me to take those art classes, and then she encouraged me to continue on applying for those internships that I had that got me into the museum. And it really just motivated me to keep going and to be involved in the Ukrainian community in my city because it was a place that I really felt connected to and welcome. So yeah, that's what.
Hello, my name is Mila Playford, and I am a grade 12 student and a 3-year hound from Flin Flon, Manitoba. How did female role models during your time at Notre Dame affect you in your life?
Female role models. I looked up to a lot of the older students at Notre Dame, especially in grade 9 and grade 10. A lot of the older girls were really easy to talk to and gave really good advice about how to find your place at Notre Dame and to feel comfortable trying new things. And they'd support us on sports teams and in different activities and events. And I also really looked up to a lot of the female teachers because they encouraged me to continue chasing after the things that I was interested in, and it just made me feel like a lot stronger of a person.
Hi, my name is Maya Roysam. I am a grade 12 student and a 2-year hound, and I'm from Wilcox. How do you use your art to express yourself?
My art, I work on art when I am excited, when I am sad, when I am happy, when I am tired. It's an opportunity for me to kind of get out of my brain and just put everything out in a different shape, in a different form on canvas. I use it to really just explore who I am as a person and to try and find ways to explain the life that I've lived. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain a little bit because it's relaxing, but it can also be stressful. It's exciting, but it's also frustrating a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, it's the ability to create something that makes me feel creative, that makes me feel like I'm just connecting with something more than just my brain, with the colors, with the physical mediums that I'm using. And it just, helps me kind of center myself a little bit, I guess. Does that answer the question? Sorry.
My name is Annie Hodges. I'm a grade 11 student and a 2-year hound from Wilcox, Saskatchewan. My question for you is, what skills should young women develop to prepare for leadership roles down the road?
Be confident in your boots. Learn who you are, learn your voice, and be confident speaking about it. I am not someone who shies away from chatting, from talking, and it used to be something that I felt really insecure about, and then I learned that it's a really, really big strength, feeling comfortable to talk, to share my story, and to interact with other people. And so I just really encourage everyone, not just the girls, all the girls and the guys, to really just feel comfortable in who you are as a person and feel comfortable in speaking up for yourself. And I think that's, yeah, one of the most important things ever.
Hello, my name is Keely McMaster, and I'm a 1-year hound from Regina, Saskatchewan. On behalf of the students and staff, I would like to thank Marta for coming from Saskatoon to speak to us this morning. We are also grateful that she has offered to share her artistic talents with us by teaching cultural art classes throughout the day. Although each of us is navigating our own journey, we can always learn from our classmates, teacher, and alumni like you. Marta, thank you again for taking the time to be with us today to celebrate International Women's Day. Please accept this gift from the entire Notre Dame family.